What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I have a special guest with me, Joey Berlin, Pistons enthusiast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Manny. Pleasure to be on here.
I'm so glad you were able to join me today, man. So what all do you do for the Pistons? I know you work closely with the Pistons, but I really do not remember every single thing that you've done with the Pistons, and I can't really explain it. So you got to explain it to the people what you've done.
Yeah, sure. Well, first and foremost, I'm just a huge fan. I've been following the team, obviously, pretty much my whole life here. But from summers and from the year 2013 to about May of 2019, I worked within the Pistons fan development department in out of the Palace of Auburn Hills. And during the summer, pretty much, my main role there was working for the camps around the state, kind of developing those relationships with the kids, the parents of the different fan clubs the Pistons have, what was called the Detroit Pistons Academy. So I went around the state, coached up these kids on basketball lessons, life lessons. We got to meet Hooper every single week. Pistons dunk team came in. I actually got to perform with them one week. That's a fun story. And every once in a while we had these players. We had Piston legends come in every once in a while. Some bad boys. Got to meet some bad boys. So it was a good time. Yeah, I mean, I was blessed to do that for a few years. It was a great run. Loved doing it. Like it was a great experience for me each and every day to being able to wake up, go impact kids, and as well get to work for my favorite sports team. I mean, the Pistons. I mean, what more do you want, right?
That's so sweet, man. Now you mentioned you were in Auburn Hills.
Yeah.
And now they're in Detroit. While I've been on here, it's been multiple times where I've talked about. I love that they came back to Detroit.
Yeah.
Are you in that agreement as well? Do you feel like it's way better that they came back to Detroit and now they're back as the Detroit Pistons? They're back in the city now.
Right. Yeah. Before that they were like the suburban Detroit Pistons, right?
So, it was far. It was far.
Right.
I was I lived closer toward the Detroit area,
right.
So I'm like it was so far going to Auburn Hills 2 or 3 times a week if I wanted to hit up two games or multiple games, even if I had free tickets.
Right. It was tough.
Yeah, that drive was far.
Yeah, so I think there's a few things to kind of unpack with that. First of all, yes, love the move downtown. I mean, you're the Detroit Pistons. You're getting back to your roots. I mean, it's amazing. I did love the Palace. The Palace was just a cool, unique building. I mean, it was one of the oldest buildings in the NBA, yet it looked like one of the newest, right? Yeah, so they were always updating it. And another thing, you think about the business impact of it. When the Pistons were in Auburn Hills, they had their own parking lot. So they were making revenue each and every night off their own parking. But I think it was like a courageous move for the Pistons to kind of move downtown there. Because, I mean, you would have to guess that they're probably losing a little bit of revenue if you're thinking business-minded. But I think it was great because they took that mindset no, let's get back to our roots. Let's be the Pistons.
I really loved it, man.
Yeah.
It brought so much excitement to Detroit sports in general.
Right.
Because they were back downtown.
All 4 teams right there. I mean, it's unique, right?
Yeah. It was amazing. So we're gonna get to the Pistons, man. Where are you now in terms of playing wise with the Pistons, bro? How do you feel about the Pistons? Because they made a lot of moves. New coach from last year. We got Blake Griffin. We got a star now. We got Drummond there. He's been getting better.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose has gotten there. All kind of things has been going on with the Pistons. So where do you feel? How are your whereabouts with the Pistons right now?
It changes. I would say just about every day. You know, I mean,
I feel it. I definitely feel that, man.
It's fun. I mean, it's just fun to follow them. To me personally, it's kind of in a interesting area right now because the East is so compact. I mean, there's
it's getting better and better.
Right. So that's
the crazy part.
Right. The East got better, and the Pistons got better. Right. Yeah. The Pistons' issues from the last few years was lack of depth and contracts. Right. So
killing us.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, it's fun to now have a little bit more flexibility. So the East is getting better. We're getting better. We're kind of that mix of teams like Miami.
Yeah, we're not the worst. We're not the worst anymore because at one point in time we were bottom shelf, down there with Phoenix.
Right.
And I feel bad. I feel so bad for Devin Booker that he has to stay in Phoenix, and I really want him to leave because they haven't been doing anything, and he's such a great player. And I'm like, you know what? Devin Booker, just come to Detroit, man.
Right. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. But I'm like, you know what? Come to Detroit, Devin Booker. We'll take care of you. But I do agree with that, though. We're not the worst team anymore. Yeah. And we're definitely playoff contenders.
We're playoff contenders. I think it all depends on your ability to stay healthy. You know, I mean, it's a little bit nerve wracking because say Andre goes down, say Blake goes down. You don't right you don't have a ton of depth back there to keep you in that race, right? So I mean, and literally, I mean, every single game is going to matter. I mean, it's an 82 game slate. Game 1 means a ton. Game 82 means a ton. I mean, you literally have to play every game like it is going to matter because it is. I mean, truly it is, and you gotta really hope that health wise you stay healthy throughout the whole year. And that your team is able to kind of get into a flow of things like they were. Like last year in February, we went on this stretch where we were killing it. Great. I mean,
even
great.
Even the start of the season, we started off hot.
Yeah.
We were doing good.
Right.
And like it was high expectations.
Yeah.
And then it started going just like it was just going downhill, and then it'd be streaks where we'd start losing a lot, and it was just it got bad.
And you look at those streaks. I mean, Ish Smith went down for one of those streaks, and we got her. Luke Kennard went down for one of those streaks.
Reggie went down. What's his last name?
Bullock. Reggie Bullock.
Point guard.
Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson. Yeah.
His
name is almost deleted out of my head.
Right.
I can't wait for him to get out of
man.
But Reggie Jackson. He
was the only Piston to play all 82 last year. Believe it or not.
He
played all 82.
A
lot of people don't know that.
I don't, because I went to a game. They were playing the Boston Celtics in Detroit, and I went to that game. And Reggie did play. He did play, but he played a small amount of time.
Right.
And the rest of the game, he was just on the sideline, like with this little back support thing going on. And I'm like, you know, like, come on, Reggie. Like, it's a close game. We did end up winning. I was happy we did end up winning. Yeah. Especially because I attended that game.
Right.
But I was hurt because I'm like, Reggie, like, we need you. Like, you're supposed to be helping us so much right now, man. And like, we can't even get anything done because, like, I don't know what's going on with your health, but you over there laying down and laughing, and it's like clutch time. It's crunch time in the game. So I was definitely a little hurt about that, and it did make me upset. But I mean, you know, we got Derrick Rose now. Speaking of Derrick Rose, you think he should start?
No. I think Reggie Jackson is the guy to be in that unit. I mean, and seriously, because look. This is an argument that I have all the time with people around me, friends. I mean, whatever. It's as you said, people do not know the guy. Reggie played all 82 last year.
He did, and I'll give him credit on that.
In that game at Boston, that was the early stretch of the season, right? If I remember.
I believe I'm not positive. So it wasn't the late end though. It was because they were advertising playoffs.
Oh, so late, and okay, really? Okay, I was gonna say the beginning half of the season he was still kind of rehabbing, and you remember Ish did play,
and Ish went
stretch a few minutes. Yeah, Ish. I mean, Ish was a solid player there, but I don't know what people should ask more, especially in this current time and place where the Pistons. I mean, to be realistic, I mean we're not so close to winning a championship at this current point. So, I mean, it's like what more do you want on your point guard than to play all 82 games?
That's true.
To get your 15 points a game, and to because I mean he's not going to be your all on ball guard. Blake's going to be the guy.
Blake is the guy. He has too much pressure. Blake has so much weight. Like he's carrying us. Like man, he has so much weight, and I feel like the main reason I was so happy about getting Derrick Rose is that now we could take some of that pressure off of Blake Griffin.
Right.
Because I couldn't really depend on that with Reggie Jackson. Yeah, Reggie Jackson, he has his game.
He has his spurts, right?
Yeah, he has his spurts where he goes off.
Right.
He might make some late shots that's very clutch, and he might even give you a buzzer beater or two here and there. But he has his games. But what I see from him is like very inconsistent sometimes.
Yeah.
So like one game he'll come out, boom, boom, boom. He's going off the whole game.
Right.
Ends up hitting like a clutch shot at the end of the game, and we get the win.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 games later, it's like, okay, Reggie, you've had 6 points the whole game, 4 turnovers. Like, what's going on?
That's
why I think I get tired of it, and that's why I'm like kind of like annoyed with Reggie Jackson because I'm like the inconsistency.
You just want that consistency, right? And that, I mean, that's fair.
I feel like Derrick Rose can bring that.
I think I agree. So long as he stays healthy, knock on wood. I agree. But I mean, but I think to your point there on the consistency, Derrick Rose can bring that consistency. But I think the consistency factor is more needed in your second unit. If you look at those splits from last year. Your second unit was the one where your plus minuses. I don't love that stat, but I mean you got to look at it. is you fell behind. I mean, when you're running out guys like Ish Smith and Glenn Robinson, guys that like did not put up that production that you wanted them to, you need that consistency in that back and that second year, which you didn't get.
I agree.
So you look at guys who brought in this year to get you more consistent in that second unit. I mean, obviously you mentioned Derrick Rose, and I think you're going to still stick with Luke Kennard in that second unit.
I really like Luke Kennard.
Luke's exciting.
He's another player I would want to start.
And you're
I would really, but I completely understand what you mean though by that consistency.
Right.
Because we got to have somebody.
You got to have a shooter there.
And we need people to come off the bench as well. And if we start, I completely understand it. Because if we start all of our top guys, I mean, we might get ahead early, or we might get ahead like when we're shooting out, but those guys are going to have to double up on minutes,
right?
And because there'll be nobody to come off the bench.
And that's not to say like Luke can't play down the stretch in the final minutes of the game. I mean, I just think that to start that game is when you fall behind. I mean, those final minutes of the first quarter, early minutes, second quarter is when you start to kind of fall behind. And if you look at Luke's number from last year, his numbers were so much better when he was off the floor, when Blake was not on the floor with him.
I love
which is it's just such an interesting statistic, and I think it's because the way we ran the ball when Blake was in the game, it's like, okay, Blake's in the game, we got to give him the ball.
All right, let's do something. It's like we give him the ball, all right.
Right.
And we're going to watch what he do. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
All right.
It's almost like you're taking $1 away from his contract every time he gets the ball. You're making him earn the contract, not that I'm saying you're doing that.
And I completely understand that because he, like I say, he has so much pressure on him.
Right.
So speaking of pressure, should we continue to go after Joe Johnson? Because he went off. He went off in the Big Three league.
Yeah,
I talked about
he
Joe
did.
Johnson last week for a brief moment.
Yeah,
he went off in the Big Three league.
He did.
And they said he was working out with the Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee,
and
Detroit Pistons. I was geeked when I seen the Detroit Pistons.
Right.
So I'm like, should we keep going for him? And I know we're limited on money, but we do have a lot of guys on like small contracts and 1 and 2 year contracts.
Right.
And Drummond and Blake, their contracts are going to be up pretty soon too. So
Reggie's going to be up after the Reds.
I mean, for Joe Johnson.
I always think it's great to do your due diligence on any guy. I mean, you see guys that teams sign all the time. They're just coming in as like flyers to come in almost like on 10-day contracts. Those young guys, and you got to think about it the same way in that upper tier of age as well. Like we just recently signed Michael Beasley, a guy that's like kind of on the back end of his career, but might still be able to provide value. Hopefully Snell's not on the back end of his career. We're expecting a little bit more about him.
They released some of his stats and some of his bad games.
Right, that one game he was running, right?
Yeah.
0-0-0.
Star.
Yeah. I know you're referencing. Right. So I think it's always great to do your due diligence on Joe Johnson. He did look great in that Big Three league.
Right.
But you also have to remember that the Big Three is not the NBA. It's not the D League either. I mean, it just isn't. It's half court. There's conditioning involved with it. But, I mean, hey, it does not hurt to bring them in for a workout against guys. It doesn't hurt.
I agree. And my thing with Joe Johnson was that, I understand the Big Three League, it was half court. But Joe Johnson, he can play ISO ball.
Right.
His name
ISO Joe.
ISO Joe. Yep, that's him. But also, he doesn't need to play ISO ball.
Right.
Like, he can still be effective without the ball in his hand because he can come off a screen and shoot. Will he run around the court all day like Stephen Curry? No. He's not going to do that. But he can come off a screen for
he's
1 or 2
role.
plays. Yeah, he can come off a screen for 1 or 2 plays, catch the ball, and knock a mid-range down. So I'm like, that's definitely helpful in the Detroit Pistons. And I always look at it from a perspective of helping out Blake Griffin. We'll have another player who can take a little bit of pressure off him and a little bit of weight off his shoulders.
Right. I mean, and also along the lines in that is, I agree with you. Anytime you're able to take pressures off your stars,
it's great.
I think it's great. But also, I mean, you got to remember that right now the Pistons are currently at 16 players on their contracts. I mean, they have 16 players, and you can only have 15 going into the season. And Michael Beasley, who we just signed, is on that non-guaranteed training camp deal. So it'll be a little interesting to see what they do based on when we do get to training camp, not so far away here. But I don't think I just can't see a world where Joe Johnson is on the Pistons and come October. I mean, I can't.
Love to see it.
I think
he'd get more shine. He'd get more clock. He'd get more PT, and he'd get more shine with the Detroit Pistons. Although the stages are bigger with the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks, he may not get as much time. Maybe with the Brooklyn Nets, he can still come off the bench and give you like 8-10 points. But with the Pistons, we're using him. It's no doubt about it. Like, we're going to get the maximum use of whatever Joe Johnson has left because, I mean, we need him the most.
And I think that's what they're trying to get out of Beasley. But another point I just thought of was it's kind of interesting to see that Joe Johnson got some training camp or like at least some workouts when you a guy Carmelo. I mean, just sitting on the sidelines here. I mean, which is interesting. Do you think Carmelo might even think about going to like a big three, something like that, just to kind of get his name back out there?
And man, I don't know. I really
because I mean the guy has skill. The guy has skill.
Melo can still hoop.
Yeah, he can still play.
Man, that's my thing. Like,
he can shoot. He's going to be able to shoot.
And people talk about, oh, well, I don't know, Melo's still selfish. Like, no, clearly he proved that he was not selfish when he went
if
to OKC.
If he's coming in to play his role, I mean,
he
he can provide some value.
He balled out at OKC. He went to Houston. He did his thing. He played his role. And then when James Harden was down in Houston, he was the person to take on the scoring load and put up 25 plus. And he balled out.
Right.
So I'm like, it's clear as day that the man can still play basketball. So I'm like, why not? Why aren't people looking at him?
Right.
And I mean, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, no, it totally is. I was just thinking about that. I was like, it's kind of interesting how you see these guys getting their names out there. And
we could have got Carmelo a long time ago, though.
Right. like 2003. That's like
that chance.
Right.
We had that chance, but we blew it.
Right. But I mean, you think about that. That like changes the whole franchise. It does.
A lot.
It changes everything in the NBA.
Yeah, it changes a lot.
Everything happens for a reason. Exactly. We're not lifting that banner in 04, I don't think so.
Do you think when is a rough prediction on when you think like we'll be back at the top or like back at least competing in the conference, like for conference finals and conference titles and things like that? When is a rough estimate? I'll go first because I heard that big sigh, so I know you got to think about it.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, I like Dwayne Casey. I like our front office.
Case is great.
Because Stan Van Gundy really put us down. He dug us a hole.
Sure.
And that we got to remember that Dwayne Casey and that front office, they have to dig us back out of the hole and put us back on top.
Yeah.
So they're working hard right now. And I'm really comfortable with the front office we have. I'm comfortable with the coaching. I like the kind of pieces we're putting around. I like the game plan that we're taking for it. So I was like, give it no more than 10 years. I was like, no more than 10 years. I said 5.
Right.
And I was like, if after 5 years, if we're not competing in the conference finals, then somebody can come talk to me, make fun of me, whatever. But I'm still going to have faith in my Pistons. But after 5 years, I'm like, I don't know, because you got to think. We got small contracts. Mm-hmm. Drummond, Blake, their contract is up within like the next 2 years.
Right.
So and we're going to have money. We're going to have money within these upcoming years.
Right.
And I don't know how we're going to exactly attract a huge free agent or attract more players that can I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, but I have faith in my front office and Dwayne Casey. I got faith.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. And so I think the thing that intrigues me is the blueprint that Dwayne Casey came from, and Stefanski actually was there for a few years in Toronto.
He was amazing in Toronto.
Right. So, I mean, you look at those guys that they have and that showed out this season when they won the championship. I mean, you look at Siakam, a guy that, like, just blossomed. I mean, and just
out of nowhere.
You look at Fred Van Fleet. You look at, I mean, just guys that you under the radar guys that are not superstars, but just play their role really, really well. Yeah, and then you look at teams like the 04 Pistons. That, I mean, you don't have a superstar on that team,
and
a bona fide superstar.
I love that.
And like
they were good though. They were really good.
I don't remember the statistic, but the only 3 teams to win an NBA championship without an MVP on their roster was the Bad Boys teams and 04 Pistons, and then the Raptors. I mean. Which, I mean, so I think that's going to have to be your blueprint, no matter what. I mean, and
I love it.
You gotta draft well, and you gotta have your guys buy into your system. So I mean, you look at guys like what we're doing now. You drafted guys like Bruce Brown. That just, I mean, a second round guy that just is value for you. The guy locked down everybody.
Improve.
Right.
Yeah, I like that he plays.
And you looked at him in the summer league. He was only the second guy in the summer league to get a triple double. I mean, he has skill. Yeah. He's going to be able to play that point guard position one day in the future, whether Reggie Jackson is here or not. I mean, he's going to be able to do that.
Hopefully he's not.
And really I can't see Reggie Jackson being here for more than 2 more years. I mean, his contract's up after this year, but
I hope he's gone. Get him out of here, man. I hope he's gone. I don't.
I think the general consensus is that people are going to want him gone, but I mean, it's going to be a business decision.
From the people I know, in Detroit, and like the people I talk to, we all want.
Yeah,
we want him gone.
It's a general consensus.
If you look on Detroit Twitter,
they
want him gone.
Right.
Most of the time, I see people talking about, what the hell, Reggie Jackson?
Right.
Like, we need, they're usually questioning his performance more than they're praising it.
So going back to like that blueprint there, I mean, you look at guys that we drafted. Bruce Brown, I talked about. Kennard is going to get there. The guy can shoot the lights out. I mean, he can play. He's going to be your starter at one point or another. He's going to be. And whether you want to compare him to Donovan Mitchell or not, he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good player. So
I'd take Donovan Mitchell.
Right. I'm just saying. But like, I'm not a huge fan of those comparisons because I think you can do it anywhere. But I mean,
that's true.
But Luke Kennard's going to do Luke Kennard things. I mean, the guy can shoot the lights out.
He's a great player.
Right. He's going to provide you value. Then you look at guys that we drafted this year, Sekou Doumbouya, or however you want to say his name. I mean, the guy is raw. He's younger than us, Manny. I mean, like seriously, like, it's going to take him a few years, but
he's long.
But he's going
to Siakam.
Yeah, right. So I mean, that's the blueprint, right? Exactly. So I mean, if he can get stronger, if he can buy into to Casey's system. And if we can continue to draft well, I mean, we even drafted well in the late rounds. I mean, guys that are not big names. I mean, you look at guys like Jordan Bona at Tennessee. The guy can play ball. Like, he can play ball, and he'll be on this roster at some point. I'm not expecting him to be on this roster this year just for roster size, but the guy can play basketball. I mean, like, he can play. You look at Dante Hall is another guy that not a lot of people know about out of it's either Oregon or USC. Right. The guy can play. I mean, like, you look at Summer League. The guy was a beast in Summer League on the boards.
And that's why I say, like, we got these smaller guys and like a lot of young talent that's like eventually going to improve more and more. Right. Because we've seen Dwayne Casey develop players over the course of like 2 years. We've seen it happen. So I know it's gonna happen with the Pistons, and it's only a matter of time until we're back at that level, competing in the conference finals. Right. And I know I'm pushing it a little bit.
It's going to take some patience. I mean, it's going to. You can't expect results.
I mean, we've been waiting for a long time, so I'm sure we got that patience thing down.
Right.
And I mean, I always
coming from Detroit, you got to be a little patient with your sports teams, I think.
Not as patient as the Knicks, though.
You're right. Yeah, you can't be that patient. Right.
I'm sure Knicks fans probably hate me because I always talk about this, but I love Knicks fans just because of how loyal they are.
Right.
Like, I remember it was a time I'm like, man, damn, the Pistons, we've been stinking it up for a long time. This is when we had Stan Van Gundy and all. I'm like, we've been stinking it up. We got people on bad contracts. We look tied up for at least like the next 3 or 4 years.
Right.
And it was at that point in time, I'm like, well, damn, I mean, I got to think about, I got to be fortunate and I got to be grateful for what I do have in my organization.
Right.
So,
you look for the positives, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, Pistons, okay, at least we got people. At least we got championships.
You got to enjoy the things while you have them. I mean, like, seriously, fans got to appreciate Blake Griffin while we have him. You have to, because, I mean, you're not going to get that guy for a few more years.
No,
you're not.
He's getting older as well, so it's like you got to take that into toll.
That's why it's just like, appreciate the guy. I mean, just seriously appreciate it. Like, that's all you can do.
It was a point in time I really didn't like Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think he could do much but dunk. That was like my only thing with him.
Yeah, but the guy's gone to work, developed a shot. I mean, like,
I've loved that. I love that he's improved, and now with him coming to the Pistons, and I clearly see how much he has to do, and like how he's developed. He had no choice but to show how much he's developed because he's asked to do everything. Yeah. So that gained my respect a whole lot, man. That gained my respect so much once I was able to see he's able to shoot the ball a little bit now. I see he has a little bit of post work. I'm like, okay, I like that. I see his IQ is developing. I'm like, okay, I like that.
He's a smart player.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not the same Blake Griffin in 2011 that could just dunk.
Right, yeah.
That was the only.
But that's the way the league's going. I mean, he's done it. He's done it. Now we got to get Andre to do it a little bit. So
I'm glad you brought that up. What you think about Andre Drummond shooting threes? Should he just stick his behind straight in the paint?
Coach Casey keeps saying that at some point or another the guys can be able to shoot threes. So
my gosh.
I mean,
is he worth the max deal? Who all on the Pistons is worth the max deal? Before I start going off on Drummond, talking about him.
It'd be tough to give. Andre's gonna want a max deal, and he'll get. I think he'll get it, but
I think he will too with us. Yeah, for sure.
You gotta look at. You gotta look at the. If you look at other teams' cap space, a lot of teams do not have cap space to sign a big max guy. I mean, and especially a guy that's like, I mean, he's the best rebounder in the league. But I mean, you look at I mean, teams that's not emphasized as much as shooting. So I mean, the guy can definitely ball. I mean, he's a good player. But it's going back to your point about consistency and you'll have to see what he does this year. I don't know if he's probably worth the max. I don't know if he'll get the max.
See, here's my thing with Andre Drummond. He's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
He's great in the paint. He can play defense when he wants to, but sometimes he gets a little lazy.
Yeah.
I think everybody realizes that.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah, a mental thing, because there's no reason that he should play Joel Embiid and just fold like a piece of tissue. Nah, that should not happen. Because Joel Embiid works him out every time he plays.
There's guys that just do it to him. Like, I mean, I can go down the list.
It's a mental thing. Like you were saying, it's all mental.
Right.
But
the guy has skill. I mean,
I look at it this way with Andre Drummond. He's a player who can only play that role. He's like an old school center, like where my job is to get in the paint, to rebound, and play defense. Because if you put Drummond or you put Drummond on a team full of people who are scorers or can shoot the ball really well, all of a sudden Drummond becomes very, very valuable.
Right.
Like if Drummond was to go to the Golden State Warriors, people would be like, damn, they just got Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
He's going to rebound everything.
Right.
And he becomes valuable.
Right.
And he becomes like another player where they're like, oh man, he's very, very valuable to a team. But because when his early years with Stan Van Gundy, because Van Gundy tried to make him more than what he was. Like he tried to make him a post scorer from what I witnessed. And correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I witnessed, he tried to make him like a post scorer or like a paint dominant person who's an offensive threat. And that was not it. That was not Andre Drummond. So when I was watching him do that, it made me dislike him because I seen he was asked to do something, but I didn't see him do it well. When really now we see him more so playing a role as, okay, you're the primary rebounder, play some defense, and put the ball back up when you get a rebound. We see him playing more of a simple role than, all right, you're the star player, do everything.
Right.
When really that's not him. That's Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin can take on that task. He's skilled enough. But Drummond still has to improve on those kind of things. So that's why I do believe we're going to give him a max deal, just because we know how valuable he can be to a franchise, especially if we get those pieces around him. Like if we get Derrick Rose, like we have Derrick Rose, but if we have if we have other shooters around him and playmakers around him, then all of a sudden he becomes that much better.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. You put him on a team like you were saying, the Warriors and the Nets, Celtics, honestly. The Nets. I mean, he's not going to be their best player. He's probably like the third or fourth best player on an NBA championship team. Sure. But he right. I agree. I right. Exactly what you said is money there. That he's really good at doing what he does, and when you make him do more stuff, it's a little more of a process for him. Not to say that he can't do that, but it's more of a process, right?
It is.
And I think he catches a lot of flack just because, like, talk about a guy with pressure. I mean, like, he has pressure on him to be a guy that he does. He has high expectations, and a lot of situations he just doesn't show up for, and I think he knows that. I know fans give him a lot of flack. I mean, but like the guy has been loyal to the team. I mean, like he has been. I mean, and he's worked. I mean, he doesn't get. He's played through injury before. I mean, you look at last year. He was out for like 4 or 5 games, and we lost all those games. So I mean, he's definitely valuable, and he impacts. You're not the same team without him, and that's why it's like. I read these things all the time. Oh, get rid of Drummond. It's like you people like don't get it. But like we would be a completely different team
without Drummond. Yeah, right. Because we'd be soft in the paint.
Yeah, yeah. He's a size. I mean, if you're going to the rec center and you see a guy that's a foot taller than you, it's a mental thing not to go there. I mean, he provides you floor spacing.
That's so
one
true.
thing. I mean, so he's going to change the way teams prepare for you. So I mean, he definitely has some value to him.
He's huge in the paint,
right?
And that's why I would not want to get rid of him.
Right? No, he's definitely valuable. I mean, and it's going to take. I think he has to figure out what he wants to get out of his basketball career. Because I mean, like he can continue to win these rebounding titles and continue to finish 5th in NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards. But I mean, or he can go win a championship with another team, or I mean, he can win a championship here if he takes a little bit of a pay cut, I think, because as you said, it's a little bit tougher to get NBA players, stars to come here in free agency.
Especially if you don't have other stars there. And I think that's very important. So that you brought up a great point by him taking a pay cut. I would love to see that happen. That way, if Blake
But, like,
Griffin
that's his thing.
stay,
like, we can't make him do, like, I mean.
Yeah, it's his personal choice.
Right.
But if he did take a pay cut, Blake Griffin will have to probably take less money.
Right.
Derrick Rose is put on a kind of small contract.
Yeah, he's $7.5 million a year. Yep.
Yeah, he's not on a huge contract or anything, but we got him for 2 years, right?
Yep, 2 years.
Okay, we got him for 2 years, so I don't know who's out there, but we could probably get somebody, but the main thing is just money.
Right.
We gotta have.
We're gonna have some flexibility this upcoming summer here.
I can't wait. I'm excited for it.
My dream was like to get Draymond Green in here, but he just re-upped out in Golden State, so I'm a little bummed by that. But I mean, I would have loved to have him, your hometown guy, come back.
Man,
that would have been sweet.
I would love to see Draymond, but I don't know if he's coming back.
No, I don't think he will.
He's over there in California.
Right, he's doing his things. Right.
He don't won championships with his buddy Steph, and it's all. He's valuable over there as well.
And for sure, for sure. Yeah, he does his thing. He does his thing. If Drummond can figure out how to do his thing, teams like and show success with it, Pistons fans will love him.
And I agree. I think the main thing Drummond has to work on for me is the post work.
Yeah,
he has to work on his post work and defense.
Right, a little bit. I think all that. He has the skill. I think it's the consistency factor. If anything, I mean, it's just just show up the same way you're going to show up. I mean, he's the 2020 king. The guy leads the league every year in those 2020s. I mean, if he can do that every single night and show up in the playoffs and not get shown up in the playoffs,
by Joel Embiid
and Brook Lopez and I mean, like
all these other guys.
I mean, if he can figure out, I think the second the clock expires and in a playoff game and the Pistons are on top, it's a lot of pressure taken off of him. I think. I mean, just because he's been here for way more than that. I mean, like right. Yeah, I mean he has. I mean he was here before SVG got here. So I mean, a lot of pressure would be taken off him if we're able to win one game, let alone a series, would be great as well. It would be amazing as well.
Well, we had a pretty good playoff. I don't know about that. That was about to be something else.
Yeah, it was a tough playoff series.
It was definitely tough. I was thinking of, I don't know what year I was thinking, but it was not last
2016. We had
I think I was thinking future on where our playoff dreams are headed. So hopefully we get stuff done in the playoffs, man.
Right.
Where can the people find you on Twitter, man? Where can they find you and get?
So I'm on Twitter. I tweet pretty much a lot of Pistons takes every once in a while.
Detroit basketball.
Yeah, Detroit basketball. Right. We got So I think you can just look me up, Joey Berlin on Twitter. Hey, reach out. I mean, I love talking about the Stones. I love talking about the Stones, as you can probably tell. And I mean, just hoping for a good year. I would give you a prediction. It's probably going to be around. I think the max amount of games we could win is probably about 46. Ooh. The min, I would say, is probably about 37. So that's a little bit of an interesting stretch. But I mean, a lot of it depends on, as I said, injuries and just staying healthy and buying in. Buying in is a big thing too.
For sure, man. Well, I'm okay. I'm not too pressed about how many games we win as long as we get in the playoffs. And as long as we can show up in the playoffs, then I'm cool with that. Yeah. But man, that's all the time we got. Unfortunately, I would definitely let it keep going, but it's people that got to get in here after me.
All good.
So we got to wrap it up, man. But I appreciate you for tuning in, coming in, man. We've been trying to make this happen
for a little bit. Yeah, we finally made it happen. Sweet.
Yeah, man, I really appreciate that. All right, mention your Twitter one more time so the people can find you.
I think it's Joey Berlin 99 is what I am on there. So you can follow me, give me a follow. Love to interact with you guys about Pistons, sports in general. Love it.
All right, man.
Thank you, Manny. I appreciate this.
Yeah, no problem. And follow me on Twitter as well. I love to interact about everything. My Twitter is @IamManny Wilson. Thank you guys, man. We'll take a break.